You what?
That's scary.
I can't even get in an airplane.
Before you leave, I'm gonna ask you.
And I hate climbing poles.
You got a set of hooks?
Sure do, you want them?
I give mine to the tree trimmers.
I was gonna say.
And I can use them. I can
I'll
still
bring
use
them
them.
down and
Could
give
you
them to
use
you.
it?
What?
Could you still use
Ready?
a set of hooks?
I can use them today.
That's what I'm asking.
Oh, do I need a set?
No, could you use a set?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Who's on first?
Right here.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but look right here. Yeah, it needs grease.
Well, it's a lot easier.
I'm going to
than
call the
climbing
Tipton
that
Common
bucket.
Council meeting to order and begin with a pledge of allegiance.
Well, we didn't. Whoops, we're gonna start the meeting.
You're still nuts.
I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, Tim.
Thank you all. First item on our agenda are the minutes from the last meeting.
They need to be amended
Okay,
as soon as I find them. I know it's on appointing resolution 2025-08. Somehow or another, I made the motion to approve the resolution, and I also seconded it. And the resolution number is listed as 2002508.
Second page.
first paragraph.
Yep. I'm good, but I'm not that good.
You are incredibly enthusiastic.
He just wanted to get out of here.
And I can't remember exactly who did what, but when I see it,
Yeah, well, I'm sure we can look at the video.
You want me to look? And see
I-
what my notes say?
I'll say I don't remember.
Only is stored digitally somewhere. Oh, wait.
Any other amendments that need corrected? Is that it?
On the minutes, yeah.
Okay.
Rich made the motion and Joseph.
Okay, so we have a correction to reflect that Rich made the motion and Joe Van Berber seconded, and with an adjustment of the resolution number to 2025-08. Is that correct, Rich?
Yes.
I'll make a motion to make those changes.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the amended minutes. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
So I'll make a motion to approve the amended minutes from June 9th.
Second.
Isn't that the motion that was just made?
That was just for the correction.
Oh, so I miscommunicated your motion. Okay, so motion was made to approve the amended minutes for this evening. We have a second.
Second.
All those in favor of approving the amended minutes signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries.
Who seconded the approved? Can I ask real quick, resolution 2025-08, there was a correction there?
Just on the number,
Right after it.
the last, it
Got
says
an extra
20025. Okay. Any amendments to the agenda?
The Main Street has some changes or just some small things they want to discuss with the operating agreement. We can do that at the end of the comments. It's fine.
Okay.
You guys all have a copy, so.
This is the second meeting of the month. We'll begin with the Board of Works and Safety.
It was a busy meeting. We started at 8 a.m. with two interviews. And we extended conditional offers of employment. So we have 2 openings at the PD. One, we extended to Cameron Shank, who has applied before, did really well this time. I was blown away by, he is a Purple Heart recipient, former infantryman. We think he'll fit in very well. He's worked construction for the past 5-6 years. I think he'll be a great fit, and he'll actually stay long term. And then, which may be a historic for Tipton, we actually extended a conditional offer of employment to what anybody can remember as our first female patrolwoman or patrolman, to Catherine Riley, also a Marine Corps reservist. She's 21, just interviewed really well, seemed to be a go-getter. So we're really excited. Has law enforcement history in her entire family, our military. Father worked as a CO at the Hamilton County Jail, so really excited about that. That would, if they pass everything, that will finally get us back to full staff. Had a really long meeting regarding 224 Taft Street. The Board of Works actually only heard about some trash and business property that we hope can get resolved in the next few months. The RV issue is being handled by the planning department. We also had an order to appear for 525 East Jefferson, Susan York's property. Asked them to do some more cleanup, and we'll be monitoring that. Fire department, 2 firefighters, Josh Vincent, Seth Hogan Center, going to the fire academy. Got a lot of things going on with controlled substance licenses with the DEA. All that's for the ambulance. And then a lot of community stuff that the fire department's been doing, training and whatnot throughout the community. Other than that, I think that's about it. Chief Stout was a little under the weather, so if you want his report, it's in there. The big one is the county. Everybody's on the same records and dispatch system, so all calls to the dispatch will be heard by everybody in the county. It used to, believe it or not be that way. So all records, everything's kind of shared now. All calls logged the same way. That was it.
Very good. Golf Advisory Committee.
The Golf Advisory Committee has not met since our last meeting.
And neither has the Partnership Initiative. Solid Waste District has a meeting coming up next week. We do have that position has been posted. We do have 4 applicants that we're moving forward with for that position. So should have those. I believe we're trying to schedule those interviews for this week. Street Alley and Sidewalks quarterly meeting has not taken place yet. Planning Commission.
We had a meeting on June 12th. We had 3 public hearings. One of them for Hare, which is right down there in front of the, next to Speedway. They're gonna build onto that building down there. So that was approved. And then the Schmidt one was for International Paper. They're gonna put a cover over the top of the dumpsters. And that was approved. And there was a favorable recommendation to this council for improvement location permit fees, which you'll be getting. Other than that, it was a lengthy meeting.
Very good. Utility Board.
Unfortunately, I was unable to attend, but I would like to give kudos to those guys for getting the lights back on as quick as they could Sunday.
Yeah. Youth Council was, of course, in recess during the summer months. We'll reconvene when school starts. Moving on in our agenda, under new business, you have in your packets our annual CF1s for approval today. These are the tax abatements that the city has previously committed to. Based on the review of the paperwork, have found that all applicants, including Package Right, Peerless Realty, Tipton Senior Apartments, and the newest one, Tipton Wilson Properties, which is HP Alloys, are all within substantial compliance, therefore are presented to you with a favorable recommendation.
Do we need a motion to approve?
Yes, I would accept a motion to approve.
I move that we approve the CF1 review.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the CF1s for this year's tax abatements. All those in favor of the motion signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Any abstain? Okay. Thank you all. No items under old business. Under mayor's report, a few things for construction projects, West Street and East Street. West Street, weather permitting, we've had a few weather delays here in the spring, but we should be nearing closure or completion of that project within the next 30 days. Again, that's based on weather, but we're now migrating toward the concrete and asphalt work. So that should go relatively quick. You probably see the new road base being installed now. There will be additional base gravel put in, and then there'll be an 8-inch layer of asphalt on that street. So that will be one of the nicest streets just from a construction perspective. Most of our streets have about, if they have 3 inches of asphalt, that would be pretty generous. So looking forward to completion of that project. Moving very quickly thereafter to East Street. East Street's going to mimic a lot of the priorities of West Street from a drainage perspective. So I'll add a drainage outlet to the creek and then come up East Street to Adams. We'll jog across Jackson before it gets to Adams to capture some drainage on Jackson as well, and then head a half block south on the Independence. That is seen as probably the first of 3 or 4 phases to try to address that quadrant of the city. But that work is expected to begin shortly thereafter the 4th of July holiday. And they'll, of course, begin with the utilities first, and then come back and improve the road and curbs thereafter. Downtown paving, well, we were trying to work in tandem with NDOT's project on the east side, but it looks like our project and their project will hit asphalt at the same time. But those approaches to Jefferson on Main and Independence will get addressed here in the next 30 days is the expectation. We've waited a while for that to get done. Want to commend the shelving project. As you all know, we had some historic rainfalls. This is the largest rain event we've had since at least 2020, but probably backs up further than that, where the gauge height got in excess of 10 feet, almost 10 and a half feet. So we've had some significant impacts to the golf course, some impacts to the park, but most of it was realized at the golf course. It's now fully operational and open. So glad that that the shelving project has worked as expected, and then B, that both the golf course and the golf course and the park have responded. Been working on securing a prospect to backfill BMO Harris Bank in the downtown location. So we believe that there's some positive movement on that. Last time we had one of these banking institutions leave the community, we had a vacancy for quite a number of years. So hoping to prevent that this go around, and hopefully to have that backfilled here this summer. Also, as you remember, the council approved the transfer of the 12 acres the city owns in the industrial park. So we're making progressive steps with a prospect on that 12 acres. Again, hoping, we've got a timeline right now that we're working toward full execution by this fall. So hoping to have the prospect landed and secured out there. Sidewalk improvement program is underway for this year. Just as we forecast with that program into next year, there's some things that we've got to address as it relates to the LPA project, which will rebuild Jefferson Street through town. To complete that project, we will need both a vehicle and a pedestrian detour. And there's some issues in the pedestrian detour area that we might focus those dollars in the program to still address sidewalk challenges and issues, but it'll be more targeted as we head into 26 and 27. And that would wrap up my mayor's report for this evening. Moving on to resolutions and ordinances, we have resolution 2025-09, resolution to transfer within the general fund for the following appropriations under the pool budget. So you have an appropriation there under pool. It's a decrease from stationery and printing and an increase in training for $120.
Make a motion to approve resolution 2025.
Second.
Motion and seconded to approve resolution 2025-09. All those in favor of the motion signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. Next on our agenda are claims.
I have a question about them.
Yes, sir.
On page 8, 2/3 of the way down there, there's I don't know if it's just a double payment or if it's supposed to be that way for John Alley for insurance reimbursement. There's two of them.
John Alley, insurance reimbursement. It does, they both do have the same check number, so I wonder if it's a duplicate on the report.
You have the same check numbers though for a few things,
Right.
like Joe Bittner's and stuff.
I mean, they got separate APV numbers. I just wasn't sure when I seen it.
June's a long month. Or...
I can't tell by this, the checks are not in here. I just want to make sure that they're not $1,020. So, I will make a note, and if the check is for 1,020 and it's, I will pull it and, void it and reissue.
I wouldn't have thought nothing about it if it had been for the same payout reason description.
I only see one claim in here, but I see two claims there because it has two different claim numbers.
Yeah,
With the same
709,
amount,
711.
so I will check and make sure, one, that it's not for two different months,
You're right, I thought.
or if it's the same, for the same period, then we'll void it and reissue it.
So we go, Tim?
To approve absent of that claim. Or still approve the claims and make adjustments next month
Yeah,
if needed.
yes,
Okay.
let's do that.
Then I move that we approve the payment claims 179,623 through 179,769 in the amount of $797,002.08.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve claims this evening totaling $797,002.08. All those in favor of the motion signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Claims are approved. We're now at petitions, comments, and memorials.
Mr. Mayor, I would like to, there's something I forgot in the minutes for the solar park will have the new one out in the industrial park will have a ribbon cutting this Thursday, the 26th. If anybody wants to cut some ribbon.
Be warm.
Cut some ribbon.
Can I use a machete?
Rob? I forwarded this to everybody Friday. It did, yours bounced for some reason. I don't know. So I forwarded it from Rob and I.
My year.
Your council email. I don't know if you've logged in.
Yeah, really good.
I forwarded this
Okay.
morning.
I got it. Are we talk, or what are we talking about?
The Main Street operating agreement email.
I got that, yes. I don't know how, but I got it. Good job.
Yeah, so, last time I talked to you guys, we were still kind of wrapping up construction. As you can see, construction's done. It was ahead of schedule, under budget. And in the interim, we've landed a $15,000 sponsorship for the naming rights to the stage from the Campbell Family Foundation to support arts and cultural events, live music, things like that. And as far as we know, the single largest private sponsorship that Main Street has ever landed. So pretty big accomplishment. We had our kickoff to summer event and our ribbon cutting on Friday. It was a huge success. Thank you to those who were able to make it out and attend. It was just great to see kids downtown, faces painted, Dora cups, being used. And it was just, and we had local music, local musicians. Matt's son and his bandmates were up there. It was a good event to promote what was going on in downtown Tipton. But there is a need to finalize the operating agreement. We have interest from groups that are wanting to use it, not just locally, but across the region. So, there's a need to address the operating agreement and finalize it so that we have standard operating procedures in place for how we're going to rent it out, how we're going to do those things. And we've got all that in place and ready to roll out once the operating agreement is finalized. But there are two final changes that I forwarded to the council and that everyone's had a chance to review. The first, we have approved the changes that you all made at the 2 meetings ago. We're fine with the proration of the severance payout and all those things, not an issue at all, but we did want to add 2 things. The first around restrictions on non-permanent stages and performance venues, and the second, clarifying the utility usage during events at the plaza. The first, going back to the first, the restrictions on non-permanent stages, basically be verbiage saying that the city won't permit the use of mobile stages at the plaza. We realize that the city has previously approved the First Friday event to use a mobile stage at the plaza. Main Street would permit the First Friday events to finish their remaining 2 or 3 events. I can't remember how many they have left. 2 events, thank you, Nate. Finish those events as previously approved, but moving forward, any other event would have to abide by the operating agreement. And then we would have a similar verbiage in our rental agreement that we have with whoever decides to use the stage. But it would not permit the use of mobile stages with the exception of the Pork Festival. So we realize the Pork Festival is its own animal. I'm not trying to stomp on the Pork Festival's parade. But with the exception of the Pork Festival, the city not permitting the use of mobile trailer stages, things like that, just for a functionality, aesthetic perspective. And the second is the utility usage. With the lack of a monitor out there, it's hard to determine what is Main Street's utility usage and what is other people's utility usage. So until we have a monitor in place, or a meter in place, it would be hard to charge us for utility. So Nate said that the city would cover the cost of utility usage for the plaza. And then the third change would be just striking the verbiage that says we're taking away, or you're going to charge us for the utility costs. So those are the changes we're proposing, and I'd be seeking your approval of those changes. And then if those are approved, we're ready to sign the operating agreement.
I thought, just to clarify that, I thought that when I checked with the utilities, that it was on a separate meter.
I think that's true.
Do we even have electric hookup on that stage?
It is not on the stage, it's on the panel.
See, that's the problem you're gonna have. To me, we're probably gonna we'll be going back and forth over $40 to $60 maybe. But jack wagons, for instance, who's gonna pay that? That wasn't a Main Street event, and I mean, again, are we gonna be arguing over $40 to $60? Right now, the city pays like those lights in the alley and any electric use, and I know it's probably minimal. To me, it's not worth right now quabbling about it and then trying to discern. Now, the Pork Festival is different because they have those boxes, and I think we can monitor and we do send them a bill, but you're talking about a lot of utility usage compared to very minimal. I mean, it'd be interesting to see what our utility bill is for the plaza after that event Friday. That's probably one of your biggest events, and I'm guessing it maybe was $25 of electric. So to me,
at this point, it's just not worth it.
I
As
agree-
far as
I agree with
the
you.
temp stage, this is kind of like, we learned our lesson. We didn't ask with jack wagons, maybe the appropriate questions. I wasn't aware they were gonna put one on the grass, which is not good for the grass, and then they moved it, and, I mean, how do you enforce that? I'm not sure, but it's something that if the Main Street heads it off or the Board of Works is aware of it, we could at least have some control over, well, you can't put a mobile stage on each side of the plaza, and then we have a plaza sitting there empty. So I'm honestly, I'm open to hear ideas, but I'm.
And we
Well-
encourage those things
Did
to
you,
happen.
you represent the city in the negotiations for this?
Yeah,
Are you satisfied with it?
so far, yeah. I wish it was done
So
already.
far,
No,
man.
my only thing is, again, we're probably learning lessons as we go.
Well,
It
yeah.
probably should have been done, handled better. And
Well, I would
take
agree.
some blame for that.
I would agree with the electric thing.
I have a question, that plaza, the language, the plaza, is that just a grass area?
Yes.
How far does that, just only the grass area?
It's just the grass area.
Okay.
The Main Street doesn't, the Board of Works still has control over who uses that parking lot, the city parking lot. That's not the plaza.
Mhm.
The
Okay.
issue is jack wagons moved, again, it's, do you really want to quabble about this? They moved that stage into the parking lot and the Board of Works actually never approved for them to do that.
Right.
Now, is someone gonna go up there and throw a good fit? No. We're fine them finishing out the year, but maybe next year the Board of Works is a little more, ask a little better questions about some of the stuff that's going on and what.
So like if you had something like the beer tap was before and they want to put one back in the courthouse parking lot at different places, that's fine. It's just grass area and no,
Well,
Correct.
yeah, and we
is that, am I
only
right?
have control over what we have control over.
Yeah.
If they come to the Board of Works and we say, no, you can't put a stage on Court Street, the parking lot or the plaza, and they say, well, fine, we'll just go ask the county. We can't tell the county no.
Right.
We just want to dissuade.
I just want to make sure if we did have another big event besides the pork festival, that we got the options on the street somewhere to put one, just
Yeah.
not on the grass.
I think the Board of Works would have the control over
Okay.
that. Would have some enforcement of capability.
I agree with the,
Yeah. And I would love to be in a position where we're having such solid attendance and big events that we have that problem,
I hope in the future we do.
besides the pork festival. Not the festival.
Well, I know here in about Friday's event, the only problem there was they were coming in and pretty much closing off Court Street and setting stuff up way before the courthouse employees could leave. And of course, jack wagons out there, you can't go, you can't park there. Hey, they're trying to leave work. So,
What time did they start setting up?
I was out of town, but Kevin said that anywhere between 3 and 4, they were
I think we approved 4.
right.
Matt, is there
They
any,
do take the advantage of that when it comes to setting up.
is there any issue entertaining an approval? I know if it's money related, it has to be an agenda item, but since we're not talking about monies, just an improvement. Okay. Good.
Joe, did you have something?
No, not that was of any importance. Well,
Do you want
I
to
just
motion?
I walked in at 4 o'clock to the Elks and I noticed a couple little, I didn't even know what was going on Court Street, but it certainly wasn't a problem. I didn't think. If you
I
were-
thought it was a really good event Friday. I went up there and I thought it was a really good event.
Yeah, it worked.
So there's a motion
I'd
on,
make a motion that we accept the changes that Nate and Rob Cochran II has changed on there.
So,
motion and a second to accept the
except
adjustments to
they
the
said
operating
it's good to
agreement.
go,
Yes.
So, it's his fault.
All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
So
Motion
I-
passes.
What I'll do is I'll change the Word doc.
Rich?
I'll change the Word doc to reflect this and send to Matt, Keegan, and Tammy. And if they say it's good to go, I'll send it to council.
Yeah, should be.
Thank you.
And I hope we don't have to then change it again or.
I'd like to congratulate you on your event because I thought it was really smooth
Thank you. Yeah.
and good
And
there.
like I said, it was just great to see kids downtown, music up on the stage, Dora cups being used. I think that was the kind of the biggest Dora event we've had so far. So I was really pleased with it, and I think so was our board and our event committee, just to see all the kids
I think they
downtown.
did a cover of Kansas, Dust in the Wind.
Yeah, there were some covers in there, yeah,
Solid.
yeah, so, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Since next month is, our next meeting is the first month, I don't have anything pressing, but it is our work session. It's probably it's not quite budget time, but it will be eventually, so council, have anything they want to discuss at the next meeting? Our work session? No?
Well, if you do, reach out to Nate and I, and yep.
Talk about how disappointed their faces were.
Still like to have some 2 hour parking around
No,
town.
we can next Monday.
No. It's a long, I think,
Yeah.
period.
5 minutes, I think.
Anything else for the good of the order?
Yeah, I had one thing. Yesterday, I walked down around the pool. And of course, it was hot. Everybody knows that. And I was amazed at how many people were down there. And they were parked in the grass, and they were parked every place. And I thought that was great. I didn't care if they was parked in the grass, because they were all, just taking advantage of a city thing. So I think I texted Keegan, like at 5 o'clock or late, and said, well, can you give me any numbers on what's going on down there? And to my amazement, I got it back at 8:43 a.m. this morning from Stephen Thompson. I think I've met him once. He's the pool.
Manager?
The report he gave back in less than 12 hours is incredible, that he would have these numbers. And I don't know if the rest of the council happened.
I can forward that to him.
Have to get it. But anyhow, just, yesterday was a record day, had a maximum of 924 total admissions.
Oh, my
admissions down there, which broke the old record of 663.
Wow.
Now, I know it was hot, but somebody's doing something right down there, and just the report is,
Stevens, I think he's a good manager. Has
Well,
been for several years.
I think
he can certainly good at
Very,
reports, and that's something that, in my years of government, it's so difficult to get department heads to write. It's easy to talk, but to write, and this is impressive, I thought.
is this Stevens last year?
No,
So he's not. Well, I thought at one point he was maybe gonna move on.
there was, it wasn't a 1 year, it was a 2 year commitment from him, and trying to cross-train someone in the next 2 years to take over.
Yeah, to Joe's point.
This goes back 6 years to 19, so I assume,
That's when,
Dave Don Haven's hired him.
correct?
Yeah.
In 19.
All right.
I
Well, I try to keep him.
hope I didn't miss it during your marriage report, because I had things on my mind. Did you mention the ball diamonds during that? I know you updated it during the Board of Works.
Yep.
I didn't know if you wanted to do that. during
Yeah,
the city
so
council, so everybody could hear what.
The first advertisement for the baseball project will be this Wednesday. It'll be advertised twice, and then bids will be opened at the end of July. So then a vendor will be selected, and the baseball project will go under construction thereafter. So the expectation is by mid-August, there's a vendor selected and construction to begin shortly thereafter.
That's better than September.
Correct.
Absolutely.
I just remember you said in Board of Works, you wanted to update.
Yeah,
that.
thank you.
If we can get some grass in, it'd be great. Second, third, fourth.
Who made the motion?
I did.
There's a motion and a second to adjourn the meeting. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Meeting adjourned.
Who made the second? I'm not designing for you.
Good stuff. Yep.
And do I do it with my fingers?
I don't think it's such good.